Good morning from the yarn closet in St. David, Arizona. Is that gonna work? It's not gonna really work. Let's move you up here. There we go. That'll be better. That'll be better, I think. Yeah. See all the lovely deer heads? Someday. Yes, I am Yarn Closet AZ on Instagram. And we're doing podcasts every 2 weeks, and we're trying to keep up with that. The Yarn Closet has a blog over on Patreon where I download a lot of free patterns in knitting, crocheting, loom knitting, machine knitting, what to do with the sock tube. It's a little DIY. Oops. Yeah, I'm legally blind. One of the things I put on Patreon this last week was the faux gusset heel. So remember how we did the strong heel and you had no short row shaping? This is also an hourglass style. So you do the decreases, then you do the increases, but there's no short row. It's all decreasing. And then the increases are just really, really easy for you guys, probably more so than me. Because underneath each one of these like bumps on the outside, I can't exactly tell where those are exactly. You just pick up a stitch for the increase. So it's not some crazy thing. And I'm flying through it. This is my second one. I'm attempting to put it into a sock tube instead of an afterthought heel because I felt like it gave a little bit more space. You can always increase your stitches before you start to decrease, which gives it a little bit more of a gusset also. It's just a little bit more for that rise, instep, I don't know, whatever it is. My biggest question is, because I'm sure this can be done, somebody fancy would Kitchener stitch together when they get to the end. Dude, I don't know if that's me. A 3-needle bind off sounds like it would work easy. Then you'd have a little ridge there. Does that really matter? I don't know. Maybe I will try to Kitchener it. It's very easy. I found it easier than the strong heel and a little bit faster going. Like I said, this is my second one. I am really, really waiting for Dreaming in Robots to come up with their, or Dreaming Robots or whatever it is. You know, the people who do the eel wheel spinner, e-spinner. They're going to do a CSM, a circular sock machine, much more inexpensive one. And since all I ever did with mine when I had it was tubes, and I still have some tubes that I'm working with, but, and I will occasionally get a tube cranked if I'm buying yarn from somebody who does the service. Just because I do like having the tubes. Valentine's Day is coming up. I will be posting this possibly on Valentine's Day. That is the plan. That is the timeline. My son's birthday, though, is the day after Valentine's Day, and we may be going over to the neighbors and having some cheesecake outdoors and having the kids ride some horses just in their paddock, which is a pasture. I watch too much English TV. We all already knew that. My hair is a little damp. I have brushed it. It's just damp. It's still drying. I keep having these neck and shoulder issues. Oh my gosh, people. It's killing me. The weather is pretty crazy. It gets pretty chill at night in the 30s, and then during the day we're in the 70s all of a sudden. I think we're going to end up with another cold snap though, which is fine. I like it. I've got to say, one of the things that I've been doing since the beginning of this year, which is hard to do with a family, is trying to like minimize what's actually in our closets that we're wearing currently, and pull things out of the kitchen that we don't use regularly. It's funny, I really am far more of a minimalist than my family. I think that's because I have the eye issues and it's just harder to find stuff. Where was I going with that? I'm not sure exactly. Oh, so yesterday I was sitting around because I was in agony and looking around thinking, you know, we really don't need that dresser in our dining room because we never play the games that are in it. And Dad's got his Magic Dad storage drawer, junk drawer, but he never looks in it. And then I was thinking about all the different pieces of furniture I could actually get rid of and we would still function just fine. Just fine. Yeah. 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 What about your house would you like to change? You know, my family loves this paneling half of the house. I'm not as much in love with it. I would paint a little bit more of it or have it painted. Of course, I have to paint the ceiling first. I really don't like painting. I don't have the shoulder for it anymore. And but boy, it would be nice. I would like a little bit more light and brightness. I would also like to paint the exterior of the house. It's this funny peach, and then they did this funny brown trimish color, and they did it a little bit weird, and I would just like it to be a nice... I've got some of my English cottage green accents going on outside. We have a set of shutters, and then the porch that we added on, the catio porch, that was in green also. And I don't want to just do white, although that's very cottagey, and maybe I will just end up doing that because I think it'll be the easiest thing to make it look cottagey. We threw out some wildflowers the other day and soaked those, so hopefully we'll have some wildflowers this year in the front. And really the heel was all I had for right now. I'm just in agony. But I have a few minutes. You might be able to hear that laundry in the background. If you were here, I'd ask you to go put it in a basket and move it for me because it would just be heavy. But you know where the Keurig is. You can have some coffee or tea if you'd like. I've got some chicken in baking, and thawed out some ham for Sadie, who is not eating great. She had a dental last week and had 2 teeth pulled. One of them they were able to stitch, but the other one, the gum around it was so deteriorated they couldn't put stitches in. But they also got some water in her lungs, so she's on heavy antibiotics because of that. They don't want it to turn into pneumonia. I don't either. So I haven't been having her go on much in the way of walks, because I'm just trying to be cautious for her. You know, I know what it's like to be on heavy antibiotics. It's icky. So that's really like all I've got here, people. I'll do another update because I am hoping to have a couple more things done later in the week and actually blocked. Can you believe it? I wish I didn't look so old all of a sudden this year. Wrinkles. Age. I just trimmed a little bit off my hair. That makes me feel a little bit perkier. Not much. I think I'm probably the only one that would notice. But sometimes that's all it takes, so that's what we do, right? Okay. I will talk to you later this week and hopefully have those things blocked and get to talk a little more knitting. That's all I got. See you later. Hello from the Yarn Closet in St. David, Arizona. We are south of Tucson. Come on up here. Come on up here. Come here. Come here. Come here, there, buddy. Come here. Come on, Rusty. Up. This is Rusty. Rusty, the standard poodle. Doodle. He's not a doodle. He's a poodle. Okay, get down. Get down, little boy. Get down. Get down. So, second part of our 2-week get together every 2 weeks. Well, I brushed my hair. You can tell it's all fuzzy. You can see the little thing on my forehead. They thought I had a basal cell, so I had to go in, got the full body scan. Oh, that's a joy. No other spots to be concerned about, only a couple others that they will, like, noted because I had, like, a wart or whatever. Not a wart. Mole. But they weren't 100% that it was basal cell, so they scraped it because apparently when you're older, you can get an overactive oil gland, and the result looks a lot like basal cell. Hopefully the scraping off of it will have took care of, like, the weird look of it, if that's all it is. Hopefully I won't get more. Love knowing that I have older skin, so I have to start being concerned about things. That little growling is Chip, the 10-pound butthead poodle. He didn't like the dogs we already had. I mean, Sadie enough, you know, and he'd kind of gotten used to Magnus. It's been 7 years after all. But, oh, that just seems crazy. But anyway, yeah, old skin. And I feel like I look so old, you know, and they have the thinning hair. It's like either thin or it's oily. Whatever. Who cares? We're getting old. There's going to be a benefit one of these days. When you're not that youngish old, but you finally can really embrace it, there's no going back. You absolutely look old. I'm looking forward to that point now. Did not sleep last night. cannot focus, did not sleep. So, you know, isn't this lovely? I love this style of little slipper sock. So you do garter stitch back and forth, make a rectangle. Then you start going in the round to do the toe. So I didn't quite have enough, so I ended up doing a little bit of a cuff there. Then because I didn't write it down, I had to try to read my writing. Well, I ended up doing the extra few, but I still should put a little cuff on here because actually they are basically the same size, they just don't look alike. Because here's the problem. They're either not the same size and they look alike, or they don't quite look alike, but they're the same size. Oh, who cares? I think this is Cascades Eco yarn. These are the two heel comparisons. So this one, if you recall, is the strong heel where there's no flap. It's just a gusset. I know this is annoying, but just deal with it. I'm not done with this project. Okay, so that's the strong heel. There's no flap. It's just a gusset. It was really nice to do. It really is. There's no holes. There's no short rows. I liked it. Okay. It seemed a little slow to follow. So then I heard about the faux gusset. Okay. Very fast and easy to do, except I'm legally blind. So there's no short rows. You pick up under these like purl bumps on the side of the increase that you make as you come back. So that one's not too bad. I mean, pound for pound, these look very, very similar. I would actually say that the faux gusset fits better than the strong heel. This one, even though I put in a little bit extra to give some extra depth, still did not have quite the depth I needed. So the faux gusset actually fit better. So then I had a sock tube. I tried to do another faux gusset. Do you see the ridiculousness we have here? Because I can't figure out where the bumps are, even though I can kind of feel them. So I ended up picking up significantly more, and then I just gave up and I Kitchenered here and then just sewed a little bit. So this fits like stupid. This is not right at all. So as fast and easy as it seems to be, I guess I have to go back to the strong heel and just figure out a way to increase the space. So some Knit Spin Farms. Their Corriedale and their Tarhi are lovely bases. They are lovely. And they have a sock cranking service. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. I have to rip that out and do something else because that's insane, right? That's totally nuts. I will probably make some little shorty ankle warmers out of that tube. And maybe even some mittens. Because here's the deal, people. You can do a lot with a sock tube, okay? This is a 72 with a pretty, it's not a super dense gauge. So to do a mitten, all I have to do is figure out a little bit more than I think I need. I can weave in my needles, unravel, do some ribbing, figure out where to cut and open up a slit. And instead of having a nice gusset thumb, you just end up having a straight thumb and you work up a thumb, just a straight thumb. It's not as nice of a fit as a gusset, but they work. And then you just either do a gathered end for the top of the mitten, or you can do some decreases like you would in a sock. And that's an easy way to get some mittens out of a sock tube. Oh, then I am trying to do this dish towel. It's on my machine, my LK150. Got going on that one day and then got distracted by other crazy life things. which I can hardly even remember at this stage in the game. So what do I still have on needles? I have this lovely, I love this color. This is from Maritime Family Fibers, Briggs & Little yarn. I'm doing just an easy raglan sweater. $7 a skein, people. This is absolutely affordable. Absolutely. And they now sell machine knit gloves and socks, very woolly ones. Very good construction. This will bloom very nicely. Very, very nicely. And they now are also selling you can eat as many apples as you want, but you have to give the cores to the chickens. They're now selling some hand-painted varieties. This is in a soft spun, pinks and oranges, and this is 100% wool. It's very soft, very soft. Hand wash, lay flat to dry. This is called Flamingo. Very excited about that one. Homespun Girls yarn, hand-dyed Costa Maine with the Briggs & Little Durasport. This is 80/20 wool nylon. So I'll probably double this up to make some mittens or some little slipper socks for my kid or some socks for me. That's it, people. That's it. I finished one shawl on a machine. Sent that off, or gave it to the person who's going to send it off. You know, I never know. I can't drive. So it's a trick. I absolutely have to take a shower. I haven't been able to because of this, but I can apparently today, so I will shortly here. But I have brushed my hair, people, brushed it. So it's Saturday. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. And then we're going to do some horseback riding at the neighbor's pasture for the kids because Monday, the 15th, my son turns teenager, 13. He's a good inch taller than me. How exciting is that? See, I mean, I just look like a stinking old lady with no youth left in her skin or hair. It's just crazy. I hate it. Oh, well. But I did cut like an inch off. So it's a little bit more something. I don't know. No. But that's all I got. What do you got this week? Is it anything good? Can you hold up the end of your end of the conversation this week? I apparently can't. Sadie is, we got her back to the vet for her recheck after her dental where she had a couple teeth pulled. And they got some water into her lungs, so they were a little concerned about it turning into pneumonia, so she was on some heavy meds. They didn't say, but I also kept her quiet activity-wise, which was apparently a good choice because she was fully cleared up a little over a week later, 8 days later. And the vet thanked me for bringing her back. Said a lot of people just skip the rechecks, and then that doesn't give them as vets enough information. Or did they take the right course of action? And I thought, well, but the recheck is free. I know it's inconvenient, but it's free. Why wouldn't you want to know if everything's going well for your animal? Which then brings me to animal issues this week. So, okay, so our neighbors that moved in a few months ago had 2 grayish outdoor cats. I think one of them got eaten or hit by a car or something. Because now all of a sudden, and one of them likes to hang out at our house. It's very, very friendly. Whereas my barn cats are feral cats from outside. And you do have to feed your barn cats. You don't just let them live on mice. But the hope is that they're helping you minimize the insect and mice population. I wish I could have gotten the video this morning because one of our little we've got 2 white barn cats with ringtails. We call them Fluff and Puff. One of them was out front, like playing with a pecan, because we have this pecan little orchard, hobby farm. It was crazy cute. But then apparently this orange cat started showing up and started coming in the house and was a bit standoffish, but also very friendly, like would rub on me, would let me pet it, would just sit and meow in the field next door in between our house and the neighbors. Was long-haired and got just heavily matted with burrs and stuff. And one day was just like, I'm coming inside. It's cold, it's wet, it's gross. So I let it just hang out inside. I have this little soft crate with blankets and stuff. And it just hung out, and I left the door open, and eventually it left. And then it did it another day, and my son loves cats, and this cat just loved him. Put a message out on Facebook, like, anybody in my neighborhood, like, know this cat? Got no response. I am friends with the neighbor on Facebook. So then my son decided he was going to clip the mats out of the hair of the cat. So we did it together. I'll admit to it. I did it with him because I thought, oh God. And the cat was very happy we did, because there were a couple of them like in the armpits and stuff. I mean, that's gotta hurt. And then I was talking to this other guy in my town who'd lost an orange cat, but it wasn't the same one. He did find his. And I finally sent a message, direct message, DM to the neighbor and with picture, and said, hey, this cat's been coming inside. I just want to make sure if it's your cat. I mean, I don't want to be encouraging it to be inside at my house if it's your cat. And they told me that their cats are specifically to be outside mousers. Okay. And that's fine. I understand country people want that. I get it. Totally get it. We have the feral cats that keep the mice out of our straw and chicken feed and whatever. Get it. I totally get it. Takes a long time. Finally get a response. It is her cat. It still seems to be a completely outdoor feral cat, getting more and more matted by the day. And I just think that's sad. And that's my comment on it. That's all I'm going to say. Now, if I saw a problem with one of our feral cat colony barn cats, I mean, they'll be around us, but we can't pet them. And they were inherited from the previous owners. But I do believe that I feed them a little bit better than she did. And so they hang out more by the house. They're closer in more often. And we see them daily. So she says, because she's seen some pictures, she says they look really, really good. I just believe that if you're asking them to do something for you, you should try your best by them. And like if I saw one that I thought had broken a leg or something, I would try to trap it and get it some vet help. But that's just me, and I come from the city, and I totally get it. I totally get it. But I don't think the neighbor likes us because we actually feed the outside cats. So hers do occasionally come, I think, for the food. Oh, that was just a child. And that really has been the highlight of my week. My daughter won first place in a coloring contest at school. We got our first brown egg. We now are getting 1 white egg and 1 brown egg a day. So we are actually thinking that we have 4 hens and 2 roosters, because you wouldn't get a white egg and a brown egg from the same breed of chicken, would you? I mean, my husband, they mostly did exotic breeds when he was growing up that they raised and farmed out and stuff. So we're thinking that the ones we were questioning were possibly roosters are just not as bulky of hens. And my daughter is the only person, I've had a couple bites, but she's the only person who's actually eaten the eggs, because every day she gets them and every day she wants to eat them. So if there really are 4 hens, I hope we start getting 4 eggs a day so that the rest of us can get some eggs. Right, Rusty? Right? You would like some eggs. It would help with your fur. It's a little dry. It's life on the hobby farm in Arizona. It's been in the 70s the last few days, but it's going to be 55 tomorrow and in the 20s in the overnight. Had a lot of heavy winds. I know a lot of you have been dealing with much, much worse, so I am sorry for that, but I hope you're getting more knitting time, because that's part of the problem with the weather. I just don't actually get the amount of knitting time I'd like, because it gets too nice. I mean, yes, it's chilly and cozy and stuff, but I have a hard time knitting at night because my eyesight's so wonky. So I can do, like, on my sweater, just the stockinette rounds, but that gets kind of boring. So I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. I had a friend on Instagram who started posting a little bit more about her personal story in her stories and stuff going on with her kids. And even though she's legally blind and doesn't drive and is home a lot, you know, the whole 2020, 2021 thing, it's getting to all of us. Because I was used to having more alone time at home, and now there's just always people. And I think the fact that we know we can't just go out and have that coffee at the local coffee shop with the girlfriend, it just weighs heavily on everyone. I saw some kind of quote about thinking about your mental health in a different way. I've been, like, really tired lately, and I think it's more mental than anything else. And I think that I need to just recognize that it's my body dealing with the mental stress of the world we currently live in. And what will it actually look 6 months from now, a year from now? And the unknown. And I think we all have to cut each other some slack in that. So that is what I pray for you. And as always, we should look with our heart first and not our eyes. So have a good couple of weeks. I will try to get some video of the horseback riding in the pasture. I'm hoping it goes well. I'm hoping it's really fun.
Hello, I'm Prue. I'm eating my first egg from my chicken. It didn't have a baby inside this time.
How is
So
it?
good. So good.
So good. So you raised these chickens, and now
Raise these chickens.